Welcome back, everybody, to another Stay Out of My Fridge, the only show that I know of where we investigate the strange, the ridiculous, and sometimes slightly disturbing world of food. And a show that has has had more co-hosts than probably a grown man has owned pairs of underwear. Yeah, seems like it's been a lot. Let's be honest, sometimes the kids are busy, sometimes I'm busy, and sometimes the co-hosts are busy, but we do have a little surprise co-host in this episode. And I just want you to think, if you think food is just food, you are wildly underestimating how weird the food world actually is. Restaurants, they're getting sued over chicken nuggets, pretending to be wings. Grocery stores are secretly manipulating you with milk placement. Scientists are literally engineering chips so you can't stop eating them. And the internet is currently arguing about whether cereal is technically a soup. So today, we've got a little bit of a loaded episode. Let's call it the baked loaded potato, the loaded baked potato bowl episode. Now, we probably shouldn't. There's better than that. But either way, we're going to talk about the boneless wings lawsuit that made national news. The real reason that milk is always in the back of the grocery store. Why Doritos are scientifically designed to be addictive. And the internet debate that might break humanity in half. As if we need that. But anyways, let me ask you this. Does ketchup belong in the fridge? Now, I'm not saying today's episode is going to ruin your relationship with food. But by the end of the show, you're going to start looking at your refrigerator a little bit differently. Don't blame me. I mean, you can if you want. I got broad shoulders and a beard that can deflect all of the blame. But what I want you to do is blame the food industry. Speaking of refrigerators, stay out of my fridge. Especially you kids. I got some really good leftovers in there that I'm really hoping I hid in a strategic place. Let me know in the comments your favorite place to try to hide some of the food, so the kids and the wife or the partner or the husband, people like me don't get in there and steal them. I'm not going to tell you mine, because if the kids and the wife listen, then they're going to know. But either way, what's up, everybody? The voice you're hearing that has been rambling on is Matt. I also go by Beard Laws. Usually it's Avery or Isla or somebody joining me, but it turns out it's still pretty busy with softball and everything else. So I said, you know what? The show must go on. I wonder who came up with that quote. Let's ask our friends here. A quick question. Luther Grimwood, the co-host of the Triple T podcast. You're going to be making some appearances throughout this episode, but I do have a quick question for you, if that's cool. Introduce yourself if you want.
Well, Luther Grimwood here, beard aficionado, professional overthinker, and co-pilot of the Triple T podcast. I specialize in witty banter, questionable wisdom, and occasionally making sense. So hit me with your question. No promises, but I'll definitely answer it with style.
All right, Luther, I got to ask you this. All right. Who came up with the quote or the saying, the show must go on? Because I just busted it out and I feel really kind of crazy not knowing who did that.
The show must go on. The battle cry of every performer with a broken heel or a missing prop. That phrase is often credited to the 19th century circus showman, but if we want a name, English playwright and actor Noel Coward popularized it. So next time you say it, you can do it with a flourish and a British accent if you feel fancy.
But let me ask you this. Do you think ketchup belongs in the fridge?
I mean, if you want to live life on the edge, leave it out. But honestly, I'm team fridge. It's like giving ketchup a cool leather jacket. Keeps it fresh. That said, it's a condiment, not a gremlin. It won't explode if it's left out.
I am team fridge as well. Look at us agreeing. So, all right, Luther, I'll bring you back in a few minutes. I got some things I got to talk about. Thanks for the quick answer, my dude.
Anytime. I'll be lurking in the wings, ready to jump in with more questionable wisdom whenever you need it. Go rock it and call me when it's showtime again.
Speaking of wings, thanks for the little bit of a setup there, Luther. Let's start with one of the most ridiculous food stories in recent years that I've ever heard of, because people in my family, people that know me really well, I am a sucker for a Buffalo Wild Wings. And to be honest, I'm I'm pretty thankful in the regards that the closest one for me is about an hour and 10 minutes one way. And why I say that is because if there was one in my hometown, I really think that I would be there way too much. I just love the atmosphere. I love the trivia. I love the nice, cold, big old beers, chicken wings. I am just a huge fan of chicken wings. And it's a place where, the family and myself, we can go to the B-dubs and just kind of enjoy our meal. There's something on the menu that every single person does enjoy. And when they had those bottomless apps, it was absolutely amazing. It was one of the greatest money saver kind of restaurant hacks that I have probably ever been able to do in my entire life. I'm that type of guy that I look on the menu for a couple of different things, whether it's Buffalo Wild Wings or whether it's a local restaurant or a local diner. I try to find the best value meal. Like, there's certain meals that it seems like you get a little bit more food for a little less money. There's certain foods where it's a little less for a lot more. I try to find the best deal, but I also try to find something unique, something that not every single place has. Like, if you were to come up with like a mix between a chicken parm, a Reuben sandwich, and a taco or something crazy like that, I'm going to try it. Right? And that's what I personally do. So if you guys have some menu hacks or, a certain thing that you do your way, please let me know. I'd love to hear it and possibly even share it right here on the show. But this story kind of has been lingering for a little while now. This isn't breaking news by any means, but it was one that I personally hadn't heard of before. But it was also something that is an argument, a playful argument in my house. But there was a man, apparently, I've heard two different stories, a man from Ohio and a man from the Chicago area that sued Buffalo Wild Wings. And we've all heard stories of, the person that sued McDonald's because they got burned by super hot coffee and, random lawsuits like that. But according to this person, boneless wings are not wings. Now, before you laugh, this was a real lawsuit. And this is also the debate that always happens in my house. I always kind of say it because it gets under, no pun intended, feathers. Is that the right way to use it? No pun intended. But either way, it kind of ruffles some feathers in the house because the kids are like, they're boneless wings. It says it in the name. Where I try to be funny and say they're not wings. Right? The wings are the bones. Bones have wings, chicken wings from the bird. So I say that, you're not ordering boneless wings, you're ordering chicken tenders or chicken nuggets or popcorn chicken, something to that. We go back and forth. If any parents out there have teenage daughters, you know how that argument usually goes and escalates pretty quickly because me and mine, we butt heads like a couple of goats or rams. I don't know. Either way, this was a real lawsuit. And from what I've been able to see, there was a man named Amin Halim filed a lawsuit claiming that Buffalo Wild Wings was misleading customers. And do you know what his argument was? Boneless wings are actually chicken nuggets. I'm not saying that I agree with you, bud, but this is an interesting argument. Do I think that I would ever go after a restaurant for like a false advertisement or, whatever he might try to get into? No, especially B-dubs, all right? And I have to imagine that they were not the one that coined the term boneless wings. Actually, let's bring our big brain Luther. We're going to bring him back into the studio. Luther, who actually invented the term in the food boneless wings?
Oh, boneless wings, the chicken nugget's slightly fancier cousin in disguise. The exact origins debated, but the term really took off thanks to marketing genius. Some say it was popularized by casual dining chains like Buffalo Wild Wings in the early 2000s. In other words, it wasn't a chef, it was a marketing wizard who thought, how do we sell fancy chicken tenders to adults? And boom, boneless wings were born.
Okay, so the reason I ask you this is we're going over the lawsuit where I thought in my research I found an Ohio man named Amin Halim tried to sue them, or did sue them, I guess, filed a lawsuit, is that the proper term, claiming that Buffalo Wild Wings was misleading customers. So is this the OG? Does Buffalo Wild Wings get credit for boneless wings?
Oh yeah, that Ohio man, Ayman Halim, absolutely did file a lawsuit. claiming boneless wings were a foul play on words. But Buffalo Wild Wings didn't invent the term, they just popularized the heck out of it. So while they got sued for it, the whole boneless wing concept was already out there. In the end, they get credit for making us all question our nugget-based reality.
That is true. All right, so if they didn't create the term, but they helped popularize it through marketing, who created the term boneless wings? I want this to kind of be a trivial tidbit, not only for the listeners, but for me personally at the dinner table when I can get into this debate of boneless wings or chicken nuggets. And did you know that the term was actually from here? Who gets the credit for it? Somebody had to.
The truth is, no single person or place can truly claim that golden nugget. Boneless wings emerged as a generic marketing invention, likely in the late 20th century. It's like the phrase just fluttered into being from the corporate kitchen ether. So when you drop this at dinner, you can say, no one chef, just a delicious conspiracy of marketing minds.
Okay, I was really hoping that there was somebody or someone or a brand or a company that came up with it. Somebody had to be the first to package it, though, right?
I get the craving for a culprit, but it's more like one of those things where it evolved out of many restaurants and brands simultaneously, all trying to make the next chicken hit. So yeah, the first one to package it, lost to the sands of fried history. But hey, you've got a fun debate starter for sure.
It is, it is. All right, so let's continue. We'll leave Luther in here. That way he can kind of add his banter, and, he does know about the lawsuit. So our boy here that said that they were chicken nuggets, and by our boy, he's not really our boy. I've never met him. But if you want to come on the show and you hear it, let me know. We'll get your take on this. He believed calling them wings was false advertising. Now, on the surface, I feel like initially my brain and Luther, I don't know if you're the same way, but it just kind of sounds ridiculous.
Oh, Luther's on board here. It does sound like suing over the identity crisis of a chicken nugget. But hey, if it sparks a debate on what truly makes a wing, it gave us something to cluck about. I mean, if words matter that much, we should be suing over hot dogs next. Because last I checked, no actual dogs were involved.
Oh, I see what you did there. But Luther, his argument was actually pretty detailed. He said customers expect boneless wings to come from the wing section of a chicken. Instead, they are made from chicken breast meat that is breaded and fried, which is essentially a nugget, right?
Oh, I'm with you. Luther's chuckling because, yeah, anatomically speaking, the wing is MIA. It's like calling a stick a tree. But hey, marketing is all about making things sound exciting, and boneless breast nuggets just didn't have that ring. So yeah, the man had a point, just one that probably made the courtroom hungry.
Oh, it probably did. Definitely did. I have to imagine Buffalo Wild Wings. Maybe I would have sent some employees in that smell like the store, and then you walk in and everybody in that courtroom is going to want some Buffalo Wild Wings. Anyways, Buffalo Wild Wings, speaking of that, they did respond basically the way that I think we all would expect. Their lawyer said something along the lines of like, no reasonable person would actually think boneless wings are actual wings, which is probably the most polite way of saying, come on, man. But the story exploded online. People started arguing about it everywhere. And to this day, I mean, me and my family, we argue about it still. And I do have to kind of side with Buffalo Wild Wings here. If it says boneless wings, I'm never going to expect that it is actual wing meat that is, a boneless thing. But let me ask you this. I mean, it's not a terrible idea. A lot of people, you don't eat the bone, but I wonder if there's a way that you could have deboned chicken wings. Like somebody could take the meat off of it. I know the fun for me is eating the chicken wings, being super impressive with my umbrella approach and my ability to strip the flats, in one little take. But I wonder if there is somebody out there selling them as, they cook the chicken wings, they take the meat off for you, and they just sell it like that.
If there's not a deboned chicken wing business out there, we may have just hatched a genius idea. Wingless wings. We remove the hassle, you get the glory. But I'm with you. The primal joy is in the wing wrestling. Still, if someone starts that, we'll know we were ahead of the curve. Maybe we'll call them wing liberators.
Ooh, wing liberators. I like that. I like that. We just did a thing. If anybody ends up stealing this idea, we will not take it to court. We just want a couple percentage of the brilliant idea that we ended up having. But either way, some people, they said that the lawsuit was stupid. Others said the restaurant industry constantly uses misleading names, which raises a pretty interesting question. If boneless wings are nuggets, then why do we call them wings? Well, we already talked about this. Marketing. Because wings sound cooler than nuggets. Nobody goes to a sports bar and orders a plate of premium sports nuggets. Although my buddy Logan, he's a kid at heart. He would definitely just order chicken nuggets and fries or maybe a grilled cheese. But it leads to something interesting about food marketing. Restaurants rename food all the time. For example, Chilean sea bass is actually Patagonian toothfish. Orange roughly used to be called slimehead. Baby carrots are just cut regular carrots. Food companies rename things to make them sound more appealing because people, a lot of us, we eat with our brains first, not always our mouths. So the next time you order boneless wings, just remember you might be eating the world's most, well, sociably acceptable chicken nuggets. Yeah, I mean, what do you think? Let us know in the comments what you think. Are they chicken nuggets? Are they boneless wings? Do you have a fancier name? Should we do the deboning of the chicken wings at a local restaurant in your neighborhood? But either way, we could go on and on about that debate, but there's something else that I want to talk about here. Why is milk always in the back of the store? Have you ever just noticed something strange about this in, grocery stores and, places that sell milk? Because almost every single time it's in the back. Bread, usually near the back. Eggs are near the back. And let's be honest, unless you work in the biz, I don't. It's not an accident. It's one of the oldest tricks in grocery store design because those items are things almost everyone needs. Milk, bread, eggs, staples. Not like staples, but they're staples of the homestead, right? So by placing them in the back of the store, customers have to walk through multiple aisles to reach them. If you're anything like me, if you happen to walk through aisles and see some things like, ooh, goldfish, ooh, Little Debbie snacks, ooh, zebra cakes. Zebra cakes. You're going to see so many more products, and the more products you see, the more likely you're going to buy something you didn't plan to, because I am a guy that can't stick to a list. Thankfully, my wife can, and, well, for those of you that don't know what you probably have, if you're like me, it's called impulse purchasing. In grocery stores, they're masters of it. There are entire departments that are dedicated to study how people shop. For example, the smell of fresh bread that is in supermarkets, it's intentional. Many stores actually pump bakery smells into the air because that smell, it triggers hunger. When you're hungry, you're going to buy more food, right? But there's another trick. Those good old end caps, right? Those displays at the end of the aisles are called end caps, and companies literally pay for those spots because they generate massive sales. Grocery stores are not just places to buy food. They're carefully designed environments meant to influence, well, a lot of your decisions, which honestly should make you wonder, but it definitely makes me wonder how many things in my fridge right now were actually my idea, and how many were the grocery store's idea. Luther, let me ask you this. I just talked about how milk is always usually in the back of the store, bread, eggs, all the stuff that we truly need. So that way you're walking through the store and you're buying more stuff. Are you an impulse shopper, or is it just me and a couple of the listeners? And how many things in your fridge right now were actually things that you planned to buy? And how many were the grocery store's idea? And what I mean by that is, how many things did you impulse buy?
Oh, I'm guilty. Grocery stores lay tracks and I walk right in. Half my fridge is premeditated. The other half is, oh look, cheese I've never seen. It's a dance of intentions and distractions. But honestly, I think impulse buys just add a little mystery to life. Like, will I use that fancy mustard? Stay tuned.
What do they call, like, what position? If you were to apply for a position at a store and your whole goal was to design the flow of the store to generate the most revenue,
you'd be going for a role like a store planner or merchandising strategist. Basically, it's like being the mastermind of consumer temptation. You're the one who puts milk in the back, candy at eye level, and turns every aisle into a choose-your-own adventure for your wallet. In other words, they make sure your quick trip is anything but.
Yeah, they're pretty darn good at it. I was an impulse shopper today, went in just to buy. I said, you know what? The wife's been mentioning steak, steak, steak. So not only did I find two reduced for quick sale deals on some steak, I walked by on the way back and happened to see a huge box of goldfish flavor blasted ones that the family devours, and they got me on that darn end cap.
Oh, the end caps are like the sirens of the grocery seas. They call to you, and next thing you know, you've got a treasure chest of snacks. But hey, reduced steak and flavor blasted goldfish, that's a win-win. Impulse shopping, one part regret, two parts delicious.
Let's talk about something fascinating. Not only his second and third middle name, but the concept of hyper-palatable foods. This is something that food scientists study heavily. Certain foods are engineered with combinations of fat, salt, sugar that actually trigger the pleasure centers in the brain. And Doritos are a very famous example. Food scientists have actually designed them so the flavor dissolves quickly. And that phenomenon is called vanishing caloric density. So your brain thinks the calories disappeared. So it doesn't signal that, hey, you're full, stop eating, and then you just continually eat and eat and eat, which explains why eating one Dorito is almost physically impossible.
So basically, Doritos are the magician of snacks. Now I know why I start with one chip and end up asking where'd the whole bag go. It's not lack of willpower, it's science. I'm onto their game. But let's be real, I'll still lose that battle every time.
I am losing the battle, and I'm actually thinking of Doritos right now, and I want Doritos. What are you, Team Cool Ranch or Team Nacho Cheese?
Oh, I'm Team Cool Ranch all the way. That flavor hits like a tangy high five to the taste buds. Nacho cheese is classic, but Cool Ranch, that's a flavor party I RSVP to every time.
Me and you both, brother. But this is also why snacks like chips, candy, fast food, they're so hard to stop eating. They're not just tasty, but they're scientifically engineered to be irresistible. It's probably what that song, Simply Irresistible, that's what the scientists listen to all day on repeat, I'm assuming. But either way, both are pretty impressive and, I have to admit, pretty slightly terrifying.
Absolutely. It's like they've got a PhD in making a snack happy. I mean, kudos to them. It's both genius and mildly evil. But hey, we've got the knowledge now. Next time we reach for that bag of chips, we'll know we're in a battle of wits. And spoiler alert, the chips usually win.
Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%. All right, we're going to go with the debate, the internet food debate of the day. Romp, 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 romp. I got to work on that. I got to be better than that. But today's debate we mentioned in the intro, does ketchup belong in the fridge? This is an argument that divides households everywhere. Technically, ketchup is shelf stable before opening, but once open, most companies recommend refrigeration. However, many diners keep ketchup bottles out all day. Nothing happens. So which is correct? Room temperature ketchup or cold ketchup?
All right, here's the scoop. Both are technically correct, but let's not dodge the real question. What kind of ketchup experience do you want? If you like your fries startled by a cold zing, fridge it. If you want it rum-hugging, leave it out. Personally, I say fridge because ketchup deserves a cool entrance like a condiment rock star.
Oh, let's say that again. Let's put this on a t-shirt. I'm going to have to work up a design for this. Ketchup is the condiment rock star. That's brilliant.
I'll expect my royalties in ketchup packets, but hey, if that ends up on a t-shirt, I'll wear it proudly. After all, every rock star needs a fan, and I'm Team Ketchup Rockstar for life.
I am too. I mean, there's some people, like, what do you do? Say, hypothetically, you're on a first date, right? And you go out to eat, you're having some French fries, right? You get that nice cold ketchup on those French fries. But the person that you're on a very first date with, they don't put ketchup on their fries. They put something else. What do you think would be the weirdest thing that they ask for to put on their fries that is going to make this date one and done?
Oh, if they ask for maple syrup on their fries, I might have to question everything. Don't get me wrong, I love sweet and savory. But if we're diving headfirst into pancake territory on day one, I'm out. Some things are sacred, and fries need at least one savory partner. So yeah, maple syrup, that's a plot twist I'm not ready for.
Not gonna lie to you, I wasn't expecting that, and I really want to try maple syrup on French fries. Now, I was thinking more vinegar. I've seen a lot of people that just go crazy with vinegar in fries. I've seen ranch in fries. I haven't really seen mustard in fries. Maple syrup and fries. I really want to try that now.
Well, hey, who am I to stop a culinary adventure? If maple syrup on fries becomes your thing, you might just start a whole new trend. Just remember, if it's awful, I'll be here to laugh with you. If it's amazing, well, you're a visionary.
Yeah, I heard somebody the other day that said it was actually Miles Garrett. He was being interviewed on like the Sports Illustrated network or something, a channel I didn't even know I had that I stumbled upon. And they said, "What's the weirdest thing that like a food combination, like a condiment food combination or something?" And apparently, not only is he addicted to maple syrup, but I'm pretty sure it was him that said that he puts I don't know. Somebody recently, I'm not going to say this was Miles Garrett, but they said that they put ketchup on their pizza. I don't know about all that.
Ketchup on pizza. Now that's a plot twist. Look, I'm all for pushing boundaries, but that's like taking tomato sauce and saying, you need a twin. But hey, food combos are like art. If it works for you, you do you. Just know I'm watching. With a raised eyebrow.
Oh. All right, so I think we can both agree that you and me, we are team ketchup in the fridge. I don't even know if this is debatable. I don't think there's anybody in my house that's going to leave the ketchup out and say that it's better. But I have to admit, we are more of a ranch family, and they are picky ranchers. But I have to ask, what is the ultimate brand of ketchup in your opinion? Because there's a lot of things in life that I personally think you can't just go off brand. Ketchup and mayonnaise are definitely two of them. So, what is, in your opinion, the go-to, the best, or brand of ketchup? Or can you just do any brand and be fine with it?
Oh, I'm a loyalist. It's Heinz or bust. I mean, that 57 varieties might be marketing magic, but that taste, it's iconic. Anything else, and I'm side-eyeing the bottle. Some things in life can be generic. Ketchup isn't one of them.
Thank you. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why me and Luther have been friends, the best of friends, for quite some time.
And that, my friend, is why we make such a dynamic duo. Whether it's ketchup or conversations, we've got the recipe down.
You aren't kidding. And we come up with cool slogans for t-shirts, right?
Exactly. We're like a brainstorm on wheels. We keep rolling, and those t-shirt slogans practically write themselves. Who knew ketchup and cleverness went hand in hand?
I mean, I feel like I did, because it's in the fridge. And this is Stay Out of My Fridge. This isn't Stay Out of My Pantry. But we should probably do an off show of Stay Out of My Pantry. I don't have time for more shows. Never mind, scratch that idea. Well, save that idea just in case we come up with something, all right, Luther?
Absolutely. We'll keep that gem on ice, fridge or pantry. And hey, when the day comes you need a spin-off, we'll be ready. Until then, I'm happy to stay out the fridge, unless it's snack time.
All right. So I guess to break this all down, today we learned that boneless wings might be chicken nuggets. Grocery stores, they're manipulating us. Doritos are basically edible science experiments, and the internet can't agree on where ketchup belongs. Which means one thing: food is way more interesting than we think.
Exactly. Food isn't just fuel, it's a wild ride of debates, marketing hijinks, and secret science. And honestly, it's more fun when we question it all. So next time we grab a snack, we can appreciate that we're basically part of a delicious conspiracy.
Exactly. If you enjoyed today's episode, please let us know in the comments. And do the stuff where you like, and maybe you rate this on Spotify, Apple Music, and all that cool stuff. We'd appreciate it, right?
Absolutely. Every bit of love fuels the next food debate or ketchup revelation. So hit that like, drop a rating, and let's keep this tasty adventure going.
And most importantly, Stay Out of My Fridge. That's all we got. We'll be back next week. Take care, everybody.
Knock, who's there? It's the podcast you adore. Stay out of my fridge. We're back, ready to explore. Got a tale to tell, gonna make you laugh, gonna make you smile. So buckle up tight, it's gonna be a wild ride. We're diving deep into your fridge where secrets